Okay, good evening. Welcome to the West Seneca School System Board of Education meeting. If we could have a moment of silence for all the veterans that have either, fought in the war or, served the country, we'd like to do that right now. Okay, thank you very much, and they're the reason why we have the freedoms that we have. We'll do the pledge. Jody, would you like to lead us in the pledge? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and then we have our superintendent report. Tell us if there's anything new on the horizon.
Nothing at all.
A man of few words.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. And those viewing, thanks for tuning in. So also I'd like to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to all of our veterans. As Spears said, for the reason that we're here right now, have all the freedoms that we do. So thank you very much. I'd also point out too that a number of our schools have actually done some nice veteran recognition. So look for those emails to be coming. But just to our students, even in a remote setting, have really taken gone to the point of really trying to make sure we properly recognize our veterans. So one of the biggest talking points right now that we have.
Can I have you swap microphones?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Pacer just appeared from another room. Okay, we heard him the whole time. So just a few things I guess I'd like to point out. We sent an email communication out last night, and we sent it out really as timely as we could, but we were informed yesterday, as was our community, that most of Erie County, or a good portion of Erie County, is currently under a yellow microcluster classification. And the email kind of explained what that means, but I will say that initially, and I just want to take just a couple of minutes since I have an audience just to be able to kind of talk a little bit about what that means to our community, and other communities throughout the area. So initially they had, the whole microcluster strategy was going to be focused on like zip codes or even neighborhoods and things like that. They took what I guess you could only call a macro cluster approach at this point and just took an entire swath, the majority of the county, and said that, look, there's alarming or concerning rates of COVID-19 on the rise. So that's where they basically said that everybody's kind of in this caution area. So at this point, there are a few things that just need to know. So we got there basically in order to get to a yellow, and this is according to some of the guidance documents that we received. You needed to be a 7-day rolling average of 2.5% or more, so greater than that, I should say, over a 10-day period. So the new numbers keep coming out. I heard that today we are at 7.47%. The rolling average was somewhere in the 6s. So again, that's put for Erie County altogether, not just in our specific area. So just to give people some sort of a frame of reference. We have been, along with other school districts in the area, been in close communication with the health department as well as the county executive regarding some guidance there. And they've been communicative with us, but at the end of the day, they're still getting information about how this is going to work as well. So as far as the microcluster, this yellow designation means that any students, if you have students in person learning, that there is a mandate for testing. So you have to test a certain percentage of your students and staff. So at this point, we probably have about 100 or so students coming in. We just actually yesterday started bringing back some students from some of our select special education programs, and they've been coming in. So we don't have any tests right now, and frankly, I don't know that we're going to have them for a little while. It could take a week or 2 weeks before we get them, and we still need more guidance. We've also been in communication with our district physician, as well as, again, other superintendents throughout the area. We've really been trying to work as a kind of a collective group to be able to navigate some of these, and again, there are some things that we just don't know. So, I've gotten a couple emails from some parents saying, are you going to get permission to test? Absolutely. We're not doing any testing without first communicating with our families. The testing that's being described is called BINAX, BINAX. testing. I'm going to get a little out of my depth. I'm not a medical professional, but if I just basically, it's a nose swab. It's not as invasive. I know some of the other tests that were done where they take the Q-tip and they really get it up your nose there. And that what I'm hearing is this is not as invasive as that. It's not painful or anything like that. So, I do have that information. Just to get back to the actual color designation, there's two other color designations that we would need to be concerned about based on, potentially rising rates of infection. And the next would be orange, as we communicated. Then red is finally the other one. So if you are any school district is in the orange or red category, you're automatically in remote instruction, fully remote instruction. You're not allowed to have students in school. Yellow, you are allowed to have them, but there's requirements for testing, which again, we're still learning. So I don't want anybody who has a child currently attending our schools to worry that, tomorrow we're going to swarm in with a big group of nurses and start testing people. That's not going to happen. So, but we will learn some more information. At this point, we don't even have tests. We still need to identify some protocols and procedures for that. And we'll work with our district physician and the health department. Just a few things that I think would be important for us to be able to point out. Just to give you some concrete statistics. So if we are in this yellow designation and we're going to be testing people, we're supposed to test 20% of our students and staff population. So we have about 1,000 staff members, around 6,000 students, so it's about 7,000 people total. Break that down, 20%, somewhere around 1,400 people that we would have to test essentially on a weekly basis as long as we are in this yellow designation. Going into red or orange, again, we're in fully remote, but there is some potential, and I'm not going to get super specific now because some of this is still emerging, but there is some potential to start bringing people back, but you have to test. In order to come back, if you're in orange or red, to any kind of in-person, 100% of your population needs to be tested, and anybody that has a negative test obviously can't come back. After that 100% is reached, then every week you have to test 25% of your population. The testing in all these groups has to be random. So essentially, you create a list of students and staff, and we would have to basically randomly select them to be tested. So, and again, we're not swooping in with any test kits or anything like that right now. We really are still awaiting a little bit of additional information. So, some of the questions and I'm just going to lay this out there. This is our thought process. These are the thought process of school districts across the area. Who's performing the tests, we would have to say. Do we use our district staff? Do you contract with an agency? Both are permissible, but if you're doing it yourself, then you have to get a special license to be able to do that. It takes a few weeks to get the license. Where are these tests being performed? We'd have to identify locations. Is it a drive-through sort of testing? Obviously we don't have students. Well, maybe our juniors and seniors can drive through, but that would be for staff, but for students, we'd have to identify, where we're going to be performing the tests if we were to do this. When are they going to be performed? During the school day? We want to be as minimally disruptive to the educational process as possible. And again, I'm speaking as if when we're all back in session. And then there's the whole idea of processing the results and notifying people of the results. We talked about consent. We would want to have parental consent to be able to do this. Somebody asked the question, what if I refuse? To be quite honest with you, we're still seeking information about that. So I'm just being as upfront as I can about that. And then, obviously, you want to take a look at the potential accuracy of some of these tests as well. And again, I'm not a medical professional, so that's something that we would want to, have our district physician sound off on, as well as the health department. So essentially, I guess, and I'm trying to just give folks some information, basically, just to let you know kind of where we're at with this right now. The information that we received, and again, this is meetings yesterday and today about this, is that we are in this yellow zone. We have been cautioned that it is a possibility that we could be entering the orange zone in the not too distant future based on infection rates. There are a number of different school districts throughout the area that potentially could be in a situation where they're heading into that orange zone sooner than later as well. So right now they have us all grouped together though, kind of in one cluster in the county. So we are going to continue to get more information from the health department and the New York State Department of Health as well as the county executive in terms of how we're going to go about being able to implement any testing program, if that's a direction that we decide to go. I will say that, in the yellow model, right now, one of the things that I guess in terms of testing that it makes it a touch easier for our district at least is that You don't have to do the testing if if you only have to test the students that are here. So we would never have to go testing students that aren't quite here yet. So, we have a schedule that we're looking at. And that schedule, at least at this point in time, wouldn't involve any of the other students that are learning remotely as we speak. So, okay, so that's kind of a mouthful. And I know it probably leaves a lot of questions that are unanswered. I just need everyone to know, though, that we're going to be working to answer those questions. So again, that's I have another meeting scheduled actually for Thursday with our superintendent's group to be able to try to get to the bottom of some of these things and to, to identify some potential procedures. Like I said, we were just on the phone with our district physician who did have some thoughts and is going to be very involved in any process that we have for testing as well. So, okay.
Well, just one point of clarification. 20%, you said 20% of our entire district?
If everybody's back in.
If everybody's back, okay, so it's
20% of whatever, yep, good question, Ed. So like right now, I said we have about 100 or so kids in. If it just stayed that way, we'd have to test 20 of those. I mean, actually, it's not even 20% of the students and the staff. It's 20% total of the population of people that are on the campus.
On campus, okay,
yeah.
that's what so we wouldn't have to test 1,400 people this week. If
No.
all the students are back.
And we couldn't anyway at this
Well,
point, yeah. But you're absolutely right.
Just wanted to clarify on that. So it's
Correct.
20% of the people on campus?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it 20% per building?
No, it's just,
so
yeah.
It could be 20% from, say, Allendale got tested the first time.
Random, right?
However
It's supposed to be random, yep.
However the computer spits out
Yep.
the lucky contestant.
Correct.
Ping pong balls.
Thank you.
Sure.
Look forward to some more clarification on that stuff.
Yeah, so do I.
Thank you, I know. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
More to come. Okay, now we have public comment. The first one is on anything that's on the agenda. So the public comment section is a time set aside for the community to speak directly to the Board of Education. You should note that the first public comment section is only for items related to the agenda items. The second session is for any other comments. Each speaker is given 3 minutes with the total allotted time to last no more than 30 minutes. When called, please step up to the podium and state your name and address. Please be respectful in your comments and do not divulge any personal or confidential information, names, specific situations, etc. Board members, the superintendent, and administrators will not answer specific questions or engage in dialogue. The information shared will be carefully considered, and the appropriate person will contact you. If you'd like to be contacted, please leave your information with the district clerk. Okay, and also, I forgot to mention, Mary Bussey has been excused from tonight's meeting. She's out of town. Okay, is there anybody that would like to speak on an agenda item? Okay, then we will go on to the next section. We have personnel certified. We have some leave of absence, some replacements, some retirements, change of positions, permanent positions, so we can go up to and including 4C. So could I have a motion to accept 3 to 4C?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Mr. Kwiatkowski, and Mrs. Delbo seconds. Any discussion on any of those? Okay, can I have a vote? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, in 4D, we are creating 3 different categories of positions. A business manager, which is going to be a replacement for somebody who will be retiring, some cleaners that we need to, with all the COVID extra cleaning we have to do, we need some cleaners, and again, for the isolation room, we need some practical nurses, licensed practical nurses. So can I have a motion to approve those 3 categories of positions?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Bedient, seconded by Mr. Siebert. Any discussion on any of those? Okay, can I have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, and then we have some appointments in 5: mentors, building subs, community ed, activity advisors, Substitute appointments, reports in 6. Can I have a motion to accept from all of 5 and 6?
Can we separate out 6C?
6C?
Yeah.
Okay. So from, can I have a motion to accept 5A and B?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Kwiatkowski, a second. Mrs. Pesha, and any discussion on those
I have a
two?
question about community ed.
Well, we're not, we're just doing A and B first.
Oh,
Well, I wanted to separate 6C.
oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, 6C, oh.
6C.
No, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant 5C.
No, I
Oh.
just have a just general question. When is it happening in our buildings? Or is it community ed?
Before and after school program or community education? It's all
Community
virtual.
ed.
It's all virtual?
Yes.
Okay. Just a question, that's all. Thanks.
Okay. All right, sorry, I misunderstood. So can I have a, well, should we go back and go up to 6C? Did I say 5C or 6C?
You said 5A and B.
You said 5A
Yes,
and B.
okay. So can I go back and, can we, I have an approval
Just finish.
for
Nicole.
5 up to 6B? Can I do that? Oh, okay, okay. So 5A and B. Any discussion on 5A and B? Okay, can I have a vote to approve? So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay, now let's go to 5C through 6B. Can I have a motion to accept those? Those
I'll
are
make the motion.
minutes. Mr. Kwiatkowski, Mr. Siebert seconded. Any discussion on any of those?
No, it was answered.
Okay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, for warrants, those are the bills that we pay. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I have
Wait,
two,
wait. I apologize. Would that be during discussion, or do we ask the question now?
Do I have to,
I have to make the motion.
I have to make the motion first?
yeah, make
Okay.
the motion.
Do I do a motion for all of 6? And then he has a question for, okay. Can I have a motion to accept 6C?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Kwiatkowski, seconded.
I'll second.
Mr. Siebert, and any discussion?
All right, so two things. When are we going to put these warrants online? And when are these warrants going to have a little bit more meat in them? Because you go through the warrants and there's not a whole lot of information there. It leaves a lot to figure out.
Yeah, I
That's all
know.
I'm saying. I mean, there's not,
Yeah, I think I asked 6 questions that, I sent questions in and did not
I
get
mean,
responses yet,
the
but,
information that's there, there's more questions that I have than what's answered on this document. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we had some discussion regarding some redacting some information, personal information. So I think we are moving towards that direction of getting, we've definitely, the last 2 meetings, we've discussed that we wanted to put these on there. So I'd imagine we're just waiting for the business office to get together and get this taken care of. I think we all agree that we need to have some more of this information on for the public and for all of us to understand really much what it is on there.
Yeah, you'd identified a model that you thought was good.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're just waiting to be able to connect with our business.
Yeah, because what I'm saying, you can go through some of these and it's somewhat understandable, and then there's other ones where,
Well, there's some, a lot of this is not even on the public information.
no, I understand.
Yeah, that's the other thing. And then if
Yeah.
you look, like warrant 68 is missing. If you look, 67, 68's missing. Probably just tied up with something in a bill somewhere. But I think more that we've understand and understand this, we'll be able to keep an eye on what's going on and what's being spent.
especially this year, it's going to be very important,
Yes.
in case we get a little cut in our aid. Yeah, but eventually, we are working toward having more of this on the public agenda.
That's all I
Okay.
have.
All right,
Do we want to not approve them and wait for the answers on this stuff? Do we want to table it?
What, the questions that Diane sent in?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure if they're asking the same questions or different. I don't know what Pete, you said you were looking for more information? do we want to discuss this? Get more information?
Well, no,
Adam?
there's 20-something warrants here
Yesterday, I
with
think.
I apologize.
a vast amount
Okay,
of
okay.
information on it. I mean, you'd have to go line by line. We'd be here for,
Right,
I'll resend
so
it.
I'm saying
Yeah.
is that we don't necessarily have to attack this now. You can work on it. I know a lot of stuff came up this last couple of days that probably tied up our
Right, right.
administrative staff that they weren't worried about necessarily getting to
Yeah,
us
Mr.
right away.
Bystrat, I had sent an email, and Mr. Bystrat said he didn't receive it, so I'll resend it, but he's been a little busy lately. But anyways,
it's just a point of,
yes.
moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, I'm not
So-
sure if Matt
so
was
we-
on that email even, when I read the questions, because it had a
Oh,
weird,
okay.
it had a weird,
I don't think
What,
you
the
were-
one that came to us?
yeah, from you.
yeah,
I thought
the
you
email
were-
where I asked the questions.
Wouldn't,
Yeah,
all right, Lear,
Okay.
don't you
Diana.
think if this would probably cut down on the FOIL requests if we had.
Right, that,
more-
and that's what
Yeah,
we're
we,
thinking.
yeah, we went over
Yes.
that, yeah, we went over
Yes.
that too.
I
It's
think that was
just,
some of the
a lot-
benefit, yeah.
Yes,
If
yeah.
we, if we explained it more,
Yes.
I mean, we have nothing to hide.
Right.
So,
Right,
you know,
right, right. But the way the warrants are, when we get them, they have
Initials.
personal information.
Well, that's
name.
right, and that.
And so that all, if somebody foils it, that all has to be redacted, and that takes a lot of office time. And a lot of people have to be involved in it. So we're looking at a different way to condense some of that stuff so people can see what lines the money is being
Well,
spent
the
in.
amount of money, but
And
doesn't-
the amount of money, not the person necessarily that the check was made out
We'd
to.
have to be careful about the legal angle on.
Oh, yes.
on
Oh, yeah,
those.
definitely. Yeah, we have to look into all of that, so, yeah. Okay, so can I have,
well, that leads me to my question.
So-
You're about
so-
to ask for a vote. I don't know how I would want to vote on that. Because if we vote no, what happens? To not approve.
oh, what do you mean to not,
Well, you're going to ask us right now, vote to approve 6C or not approve
Right.
it?
to approve
So I'm
6C
asking the peop-
as the,
Yeah, you had questions and Pete had questions. Does that have anything to do with approving them?
I don't have.
I was
have
just asking for
questions and
clarification.
context
yeah.
Right.
and More
So
information.
it's
it's
okay to.
fine right now. We've been doing it this way,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
I think what we're getting at is, what we've been talking about is getting more information to
Right.
explain this.
That's all I'm
it is.
asking
Right.
is because
Right.
I think we're gonna, I would approve it, but
Right.
we're also still can ask
Yes.
questions.
Right.
I mean,
Right?
the-
Like, it's not a.
The checks have been sent out already,
Yeah,
so.
there's no-
it's kind of, you know,
You
wait a
gotta
minute,
run around and-
we gotta get that one back, you
It's
know?
more the manner, the way the information
Okay.
Being
is.
deciphered and
So we're looking to
disseminated.
change it as opposed to, we're not stopping these particular warrants for.
Right,
any reason.
exactly.
Right, the format
a new
that
process.
they're,
Okay.
you know,
I just didn't want to do
that
the
they're
wrong thing,
identifying.
that's all.
Yes, right, right. Okay, so, any other discussion on the warrants? Okay, can I have a vote to approve the warrants?
I'll make
All
a
in
motion.
favor?
No, yes,
I think we already had a,
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, so then the rest of 6, the investment reports, the transfers, the treasury reports, extra classroom activities, and all of the special education committee reports. Can I have a motion to accept those?
A motion.
Okay, Jody, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Kwiatkowski, and any discussion on any of those? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried 6-0. Okay, now we have the public comment. So again, please, when you want to make a comment, come up, give your name and address. Don't divulge any specific information like a teacher's name or anything like that. And we have up to 30 minutes for this section. So is there anybody that would like to come up and speak? Anybody?
Chairs are all empty.
Yeah. All righty, okay. Then we are going to go into executive session. So, Nicole, do I adjourn the meeting first and then go?
No,
Okay,
somebody
adjourn
has
after.
to make a
Okay,
motion to
can
go.
I have a motion to go into executive session?
A motion.
Ms. Pesha, and can I have a second?
Yeah.
Okay, we are going in for the medical history of a particular person and for collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law. So that's why we're going to go into executive session. We will not be back after the executive session because we have pretty much finished the agenda anyways. So, so everybody have a wonderful evening.
Somebody's got a
Oh,
second.
Oh, sorry.
give a second. Mr. Kwiatkowski, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried 6-0. And again, we thank all the veterans out there for their service, and everybody have a wonderful evening and keep safe, and more to come on the new rules and regulations for the school district.
And we
So-
do have a work session next week.
Yes, we have a work session next Monday, I think. Monday, yeah, next Monday. Okay, thank you very much.
Have a good evening.